Who does he look like?
He looks like Jack from Top Boy.
He looks
like exactly like Jack from Top Boy.
Yeah. Welcome to He Did This to Me, the sports podcast from a father and son who happen to be mostly optimistic Knicks, Mets, and Jets fans. My name is Nick, a.k.a. Goody, and with me is my old man, a.k.a. the big guy, Noel. And just like his name, all we do is win. Let's get to the show. It's time to begin. Knicks wrapped up preseason with a win last night. Last preseason game, the dress rehearsal, as they say, against the Hornets. Knicks go in there, no Cat, no OG. But yo, Brunson looked like he's in mid-season form. What do you have, 31 points?
Yeah, very nice game.
Yo, Brunson looked nice. Bridges looked nice. Garrison Matthews didn't get off the bench. He looks like he might be getting cut. The cuts are happening any moment now. I'll keep checking as we go. But what did you think of the Knicks in that last game before they get the season started next Wednesday?
It looked good. I mean, like you said, Brunson looked amazing. I liked how fluid he looked on the court. You know, you can clearly see that he's dropped a little weight, and he's just moving even better. And, like you mentioned to me, he definitely seems like he's either, because of the being a little more trim or just better coaching or whatever, his efforts on the defensive end seem much greater effort, but also with what looks like will be better results. He just seems like he's more locked in on the defensive end, and I'm pretty excited about that. You know,
defensively, it's both the fact that he's a little bit quicker, like you said. He looks like he's trimmed down, but clearly either he on his own or this coaching staff has sat him down and said, hey, man, like, there's a couple things that we need to do a little bit better. The way that he was hedging, the way that he was showing at certain points, it just seemed like not just he, but the entire team had more of a, this is what we're going to do and a game plan. And I thought especially they looked like they had a serious emphasis on guarding the three. And I think that's huge. I think that, modern NBA, you have to guard the three. And the other thing I love is that we're getting them up. Knicks averaged like 44 threes per game during the preseason. I think that's huge, man. I just think that that's the way the game is played today, and they have to do that. But, obviously we have one of the best mid-range scorers in the game in Brunson, so it's not going to be strictly that, like, say, the Celtics last year in the playoffs.
Right.
But overall, I do think that, to be able to keep up, you got to put them up.
Well, that's what it makes me think about is the Celtics last year in the playoffs, when we talk about putting up a bunch of threes. But like you said, there has to be a mixture. You can't get carried away, and especially on games where things aren't going. I mean, they're not dropping. You have to switch it up. So I hope we realize that. I'm sure there will be some games where we get carried away. And you have to rein it back in at some point. Hopefully the coach does that on those particular nights.
I don't know if there is such a thing as getting carried away. I just think it has to be good threes. You know what I mean? Like if they're coming off of penetration, if you're coming in and you're spraying and you're kicking it out, I think that the way that Mike Brown coaches, he's going to want them taking those shots, whether they're falling or not.
But you don't think that Boston was, in some of those games, the games that we came back, especially the first one, they were taking what looked like good threes. We weren't, they were missing them. And they should have, especially with the lead that they had, Nick. That's the issue. Especially with the lead that they had. Just, dude, take better shots. Stop taking early threes and take better shots and go to the hole. I mean, I think that cost them the game.
I think that they had a lot of possessions where they were kind of just swinging it around the horn and taking threes, and they weren't getting feet in the paint. Right. And I think that that's where the difference is. But yes, I listen. I don't want a team that shoots 63s a game just because aesthetically I don't like watching that. No. You know what I mean? I'd much rather have a team, and I just don't see that being a problem with a Brunson on your team, with the Cat on your team. These guys like to get into the paint, and another guy who's been focusing on getting into the paint more during this preseason, our guy Mikal Bridges. He looked good yesterday as well.
He looked fantastic. I'm very impressed with what I see from him. He seems to be unlocked a little bit. I just like the way he plays the game. I think he's going to end up being a big-time Knick favorite, man. Just that glue guy, that defensive guy. he's got a good future ahead of him, and he's a steady guy, and a lot of Knicks fans will appreciate that and his hard work.
I definitely think that this year we're going to see an entirely different Mikal Bridges. I think that both offensively and defensively, we're going to see him not only just be more comfortable, but also I think the big thing is just taking a little bit of the workload off for him. I think that's going to allow him to give max effort more often. And, Mike Brown talked about yesterday how he wanted to get those guys around 34, 35 minutes because that's what he hopes to play them around that per game once the regular season starts, which I just think is going to be good for this team. And things like that are possible because you have a Yabusele. This is not strictly like sometimes, we pile on Tibbs, and I can definitely be guilty of it as well. But the bench is just better now. We're a
100%.
deeper team. We're a much deeper team. And talking about deep, let's take a second. I know there's some other people on the Knicks that you want to talk about, but Mohamed Diawara.
I love that guy.
Yo, man.
I love his
long,
game.
Active. He kind of almost like reminds me of like a Siakam.
He's the guy that we see on other teams when we're like, why can't we have a guy like that? He's that guy. I mean, his length. I saw him diving on the ground yesterday for a ball. Better handle than we thought.
Yo, his handle is the thing that's by far
stunning.
like blown me away. The dude can handle a rock.
Yeah.
Decent like passer too. Like he's got a feel for the game.
Yes, he does. He does, Nick. I'm thinking he's a very good young player, and I know he's going to be on a two-way, so a lot of his season will be spent, in the G League or whatever you're calling it these days. And, that's fine, but I'm hoping he gets a chance to be with the big club. And I'm thinking, who knows what happens between now and, the last third of the season. Maybe by then, he's playing a part. I don't know. We'll see.
I found it interesting that, Dadier was a DMP coach's decision. Not injured.
Dadier's got one foot on the way out the door and the other foot on a banana peel. Seriously. Come on, man.
I'm big on Dadier, man, but this kid Diawara looks better than him. He looks like he's just physically more imposing. And, I don't know when the last time I saw Dadier dive on the ground for a ball is.
Was Dadier? Wait, now, but he was on the bench yesterday? I didn't even see him.
I'm looking it up right now. It says DMP coach's decision.
But was he physically there?
I don't know. I did not see him on the bench, no. But I'm guessing he was there. Why wouldn't he be? I didn't see Mitch either. I don't know. Maybe he's in the back getting treated.
He's always getting a French pastry. He's all pissed off.
I don't know, man. I think. So now you're making fun of that. I feel like just like what is this recent souring on Dadier?
I'm not souring on Dadier. I just think that, like I said to you, man, I need to see more out of that guy. He needs a little pick me up, and I'm seeing the pick me up out of Diawara, but not out of Dadier.
Yeah. I just think you got.
And Diawara's a Frenchie too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's French as well.
So it's not a French thing; it's just a Dadier thing.
I just think you got the shades on. You got the chain out today. It's bringing out the mean side in you.
That's all. Angry Garth.
Yo, man, what's up with Deuce? Deuce look good, guys.
Deuce look good too. I like Deuce.
I think Deuce
I like cornrow Deuce. Give me cornrow Deuce.
I'm strictly cornrow Deuce.
Cornrow Deuce.
It's got to be cornrow Deuce moving forward. Absolutely. I think that
100%.
Cornrow Deuce is an entirely different Deuce. I still leaves a little bit to be desired when it comes to the dribbling ability, but the three looks good. And yeah, I mean, what was he? He was 2 of 8. No, I'm sorry. Bridges was 2 of 8 from 3. Deuce ended up shooting pretty well. Deuce shot 4 or 6 from 3. We love that. We love that.
Deuce was active, and I love it when Deuce plays free and loose, and that's what I'm seeing from him, and I like what I'm seeing from Deuce so far, man. This should be. Can't wait till Thursday? Is their first game?
Wednesday.
Wednesday's their first game?
They open up the 22nd at the Garden against the Cavs. Cavs come to town.
That's a crazy game right there.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that everybody is going to be, everybody's going to suit up because we know that, Cap's got a quad. I hear he's very likely to play. OG's got an ankle, very likely to play. And then Mitchell, just like, load management. But then I don't know exactly what the status of Josh Hart is. But there's a part of me that wishes that some of these guys got some more reps in together during preseason.
Josh Hart literally played like one game in this preseason.
7 minutes.
That's it.
7 minutes, and then he had the back. He went down in a heap out in Abu Dhabi.
Oh man, That's a shame. I mean, I haven't seen him, so I don't know what's going on. I haven't heard anything.
I did read yesterday that Brown is optimistic that all 4 of those guys are going to be able to play next Wednesday. So I hope that's the case. Okay. You know, Mitch hasn't played in the last 2 games, and he only played the first half of the game before that. So I'm hoping that this is just them being very cautious and they have some sort of load management that they're doing, and this is not, Mitch having any sort of
ailment,
strains or pains or anything like that.
You might get hurt jumping down from one of them huge trucks. It's so high up in the air. I mean, come on, man. The guy needs like a stepladder as tall as he is.
Yeah. Jesus. I don't think it's too much of a problem for Mitch, and I'm just excited for the season, man. I like what I'm hearing from Mike Brown. I love what I saw from Brunson in that game. He's got a new celly. It's not just it's not just this anymore.
Yeah. He's got the archery thing.
He's got got the ball.
Yeah, looks good. I mean, maybe he took up archery in the off season. Maybe he's a bow hunter.
He better not be. I don't need him like pulling a lat or something like that. And you know what? I will say this, and I think this is very important. I said it last year. The Knicks had nobody on their team that was the type of person that was willing to just square up with somebody. Both Jordan Clarkson and Yabusele are willing to square up with somebody.
Well, I've never seen that necessarily out of Yabusele, but you've seen it a million times out of Clarkson.
Yeah, Clarkson.
The video, the little reel with his clips are fantastic.
Yeah, where he's on some
he's constantly doing that, squaring up with guys.
Yo, you said before he looks like who does he look like?
He looks like Jack from Top Boy.
He looks
like exactly like Jack from Top Boy.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, man, that's his younger sister.
I think so.
I think or they're the same person.
Listen, we don't know exactly what happened to Jack at the end of that show, right?
She became Jordan Clarkson.
But she was in that mom show. She was in the other British show. Now she works for Tom Hardy in the show with Pierce Brosnan and all them.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, she's one of the people that works for Tom Hardy in that show.
I didn't notice that.
She's one of his underlings. Yeah. That's Jack. Like but no, definitely looking forward. Yeah, that's how it's spelled. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because you watch it with the subtitles.
Subtitles, yeah.
You're supposed to be. I feel like the reason I can understand it is because I've been like around enough patois in my life. But yeah, it's
still you'd be surprised. A lot of shows. Anytime there's Brits talking, I put it in on the what's his name? I put on the club
the subtitles,
closed caption, because it just sometimes makes things easier. Some people find it disconcerting or distracting. I do not. I like it better.
I feel like it kind of takes me out of the show where I'm not paying as much of attention as if it wasn't there. But I mean, yeah, I get it.
The only thing I don't like is when the person is it's a different language and their mouth doesn't match the words.
Right.
That frustrates me, and I end up turning that off usually.
Are you talking about like where it's dubbed?
Dubbed, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've seen some series that look like they'd be good series, but they're like a French series.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
They're in French and they're dubbed into English. I'm not into that.
Yeah, no way. But yeah, speaking of a couple former Knicks to talk about, you saw Emmanuel Quickly got 5 years, 175.
What? Oh, from who?
Toronto.
From Toronto?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, good for him.
I saw a clip of him like D'ing somebody up, looking pretty good.
Wow.
But 175. I don't know about all that.
So he's getting like what, $35 million a year?
Yeah, you're the math guy, not me.
Yeah, I mean it's more than 30. We know that, and then 5-1, yes, $35 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a little bit less than OG money. I think OG is a much more valuable player than him.
That's insanity. I mean, come on, man. I like Quick, but no.
Yeah, no. I think it's too much. Another former Knick, Precious Achiuwa, just got waived by the Miami.
People kill me, man. I read all the time. People are like, yo, put Precious in the game. What about Precious? And one, I think people love him because he's a New York guy, but. Come on, man. He's okay. He's just okay. And that's why other teams are waiving him. They'll probably end up sticking somewhere, but he's not that good, man. I mean, he's a year or two away at best from playing overseas.
And we just got the final roster. This just got posted to SNY 1 minute ago. Landry Shamet is the final spot. Alex Len, Garrison Matthews, Matt Ryan, all waived.
Yeah,
that's what we expected. Once Brogdon went ahead and retired, which Brogdon retiring kind of comes out of nowhere. I personally, it seems to me like this is a like I said, I told you he looked a little bit slow, maybe a little bit gimpy.
Yeah, that was surprising. I mean, geez, just all of a sudden. But yeah, he clearly physically it was a problem for him.
Yeah, I think physically he just realized, I can't do this, or maybe mentally, even too. He just, thought about it after getting through most of a training camp and was like, doing the grind and was just like, yeah, man, I don't know about this.
Yeah, I mean, there comes a point, I'm sure in every person's life where they're like, I just don't really want to do this.
Yeah.
So maybe he just didn't want to do it. I mean, he's got enough money, so it really is a decision on lifestyle and what you want to do. And Ray, wish him well, and I'm sure he'll live a very good and comfortable life.
Yo, have you seen any of these clips of Wemby in preseason?
Wemby's come back. Wemby got a little more of a mean streak in him now. Wemby been eating the gunpowder all summer.
Bodying cats, and we spent time with Hakeem this summer.
Yeah, this is what I'm
saying.
saying.
And I saw him do some up under Hakeem type shit. Yo, man, that's a
got him on that, on that Senegal shit. Where's Hakeem from? Nigeria.
I think he's Nigeria. Yeah, I think he's Nigeria. Which Wemby, I don't know. I think Wemby's mixed, but I don't know what the black side of him is. But I mean, he's probably some sort of African too. If you go back far enough.
Right, but Wembenyama, where is that? I don't know the origins of that surname.
I have no idea. It's probably like you said. It's always. Well, let me not assume. But no, right. Wemby, man, that cat,
he's a hell of a player.
I mean, he's a player.
That's gonna get scary.
Shoot a couple less threes. When I saw him sometimes last year, I feel like he was getting a little bit three happy. But the fact that he can hit them is great. But I mean, he just has such an advantage. We used to always say this about Porzingis back in the day. Just like get to your spot and pull up and shoot, and can't nobody do
his mid-range game should be flawless. Like a mid-range turnaround. No one can stop you.
Yeah, no one can do anything with it.
No one can do anything with that. So you practice that enough, guy, and get good at that. I mean, come on, man. It's the layup virtually, And not to mention, you can just opt for the layup.
Right.
Because you can clearly, without committing a travel, take one stride with keeping his pivot from that jumper spot and take a layup.
And the thing is that now I'm watching him actually, like, I saw him get into the lane and, like, body some cat and then go up strong. And it's just like, if this cat.
He's using his strength.
He's about to. And not only did he spend some time with Hakeem this summer, but I think he also spent some time with KG this summer.
You know what I'm saying? So you learned
That's
some of them
exactly
KG
the type. One of the, and some wiry, like, strong type cat.
Right. Yeah, man. He's gonna have an impressive season. And he's gonna, it's gonna be interesting to see what he can do.
Yeah. I mean, that guy. This is the biggest and the most, like ballyhooed prospect since LeBron. And obviously, LeBron did nothing but exceed those expectations. And Wemby is looking like he can too. Absolutely. Just hoping he stays healthy, man. I had the blood clot last year. That type of shit is scary.
Yeah.
That makes you nervous because a guy like Chris Bosh that had him out of the league quick. So,
but it seems that this guy, they say he's okay, so let's see where it goes from here.
Yeah, no, Wemby definitely looks good. I mean, basketball-wise, it's just going to be an interesting season. I think that Denver is going to be really good. OKC, once again, is going to be, a force to be reckoned with. And OKC, this is kind of like their last run with that team. Something's got to give with them salary-wise going into the next season.
Why? With who? They got the two main guys already assigned. But then what? Like Hartenstein?
Hartenstein is a lot of people say he might end up being the casualty because they're going to end up having to pay Chet.
They're going to keep Chet.
Yeah.
They're just going to try to find somebody else to do Hartenstein's job.
Exactly. And I mean, there was times where even in the final moments of games where he wasn't on the floor. So obviously they feel like though I think he brings an element to that team that they really need. We love Hartenstein over here obviously as Knicks fans. But I don't know, man. I think that they're going to for some reason, I just feel like OKC is going to fall off a little bit this year. I don't know why. Too. I just feel that way.
I do too. Something, Nick, it's very hard, to beat the injury bug. Yeah. And then everything just fall together, we
know that we know that with the Knicks, that's one of the things we're nervous about is, we had such great injury luck last year.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's very scary. So, and you see that in every sport, frankly. So, we'll see, but I could definitely see OKC slipping a little bit.
I think Denver out of the West, and I just watch out for them Lakers, man. I think we got skinny Luka, And then, LeBron, he's a little bit gimpy with the sciatica right now, but he'll be back. He'll be fine.
That's scary. Because that can flare up at any time.
Anytime. I feel like everybody's dealt with some sort of sciatica at some point. I mean,
yeah, but some people more serious than others.
Of course.
I've seen some people who had serious sciatica when I worked on the floor, and it was debilitating. I mean, the guy was fine one day, the next day he's stiff as a board. Can't move. And this is my boss, JJ, who was like 6'5", slim guy, and then for months he was just totally like stiff, and he would come to work like that. And then he got something, readjustment, something, or drug or something, and he felt better. But
it's brutal.
It could happen at any time.
Yeah. Obviously LeBron is 41. He doesn't.
Yeah.
The guy used to never get injured. Now we see these last few years he's getting nicked up here and there just because.
At his age, he might have had a bad sneeze that caused that shit.
They say it was during a workout, and you don't need to be a certain age to hurt yourself with a sneeze. I hurt myself with a sneeze in 7th grade. My back was fucked up for weeks.
Yeah, that's true. Happens.
But what's up with? I gotta bring this up. Speaking of injuries, what's up with Anthony Richardson and his injury last week?
Oh, with the band?
He got a broken orbital off of hitting himself in the face with the
he's probably had it around
band.
his foot and then let it go or something and snap back right into the eye.
Yo,
I can see how that could be incredibly painful. Or maybe he had one of those that had handles on it.
I don't know what the fuck he did, but I've seen plenty of people online getting caught with that shit. But you're a professional fucking athlete, man, and I just come on, guy. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah. His career, I have a hard time seeing how his career is ever going to really. I don't think he'll ever have a great career.
He got replaced by Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones is lighting it up.
Well, yeah, but now don't sleep on Daniel Jones. I've been telling you for years that I thought this guy is good. He's got the tools. He's big enough. He's strong enough. And when given time, he's got a strong arm and makes some great throws. And that's what we're seeing now in Indy.
He's all right. Okay, he's all right. He's got to be in the exact right situation, but he's okay. I don't think he's that great. Okay. Giants fans are lucky that they have, Scattaboo and they got Jackson Dart, so they don't have to sit around and think about Saquon and Daniel Jones and what they're doing. But when I read that, I just came across my screen broken orbital due to an exercise band.
Dude,
I was
talk about pain.
What? I thought that couldn't be real. I had to go back, and I was like, "Yo, that shit's crazy."
That's gotta hurt big time, hitting your eye. I once hit myself in the eye, unfortunately, with a racquetball.
Oof!
I ran to the front wall and hit it hard off the front wall to try to save it, and it came directly back into my eye. I hit the ground covering my eye. I thought I was blind.
You don't wear I thought people.
I've worn goggles every time I played racquetball.
I thought that was pretty standard in racquetballs to wear those goggles.
No. I mean, no, they're not necessarily standard. They are now for me.
Yeah, I once got icy hot in my eye.
No kidding. I remember that day. That was pretty funny.
I got icy hot in my eye. I wake you up in the middle of the night to let you know Dad, I got icy hot in my eye. And you said, I don't know, put some water on it. So then I'm home the next day. I'm sitting there. You come home from work. You step in, and you have a patch on your eye. And I say to you, yo, what's the matter? What happened to your eye? And you're like, I got icy eye. This is the lengths that you go to ridicule your 13-year-old son.
I had to stop at the pharmacy and say, do you guys sell eye patch? But I mean, come on, man. You're a freaking banana. What are you getting icy hot in your eye for?
Clearly, I was putting icy hot on.
Okay, and what do you do now? What do you do now? You wash it off your hands before you put your hands in your eye.
I got an itch.
Your Uncle Godfrey did that with some hot peppers.
Oof.
Yeah. My mom was making some her homemade hot pepper sauce, and he got that on his hands and then rubbed his eye. He's a clown.
Yeah, that's brutal. He's lucky he didn't permanently damage himself with that.
Yeah, he is lucky.
Let me ask you this: if the Knicks got to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost, would you overall see that as a failure of a season?
Oh, no, you don't mean that. I wouldn't see it as a failure. Would I be disappointed? Yes, but they have to at least get there. If it's anything less, then it's a failure, right? But I, of course, want to see them get there and achieve. And, of course, Nick, it depends on how it happens. I mean, if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, it's a hard-fought series, and, I don't know, and they lose, I'll be very disappointed. I'll be upset. But if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals and losing like 5 or something, I'd be fuming. I mean, that's a very hard question to ask right now. I expect them to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, although, you know me, I do not think this whole thing is linear. We all expect it to just go up another level just because we made it there last year. I don't think that's necessarily the case, but I think that, like we keep saying, this is just going to be a very interesting season. I do feel like the team is focused, and I do feel like this coach will do a good job.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, listen, I think we need to make it to the finals. I think anything less than the finals, especially you look at that team from last year and you add the pieces that we did. Obviously, there's always the caveat of, injuries, but I think this team needs to make it to the finals for sure, especially when you take into account that 2 of the biggest threats in the East are without their best player. This is the time. Got to make it happen. Got to do it. Let's go Mets. Let's talk a little Mets. The big thing everybody is talking about now is us making a trade, possibly for Skubal. Skubal they say there's about a $250 million gap between him and Detroit and what they over their contract. The Mets definitely have the pieces. They have, if not the best, one of the best farms, and they have some, MLB ready talent, which Detroit, because they were a playoff team, that's what they would want. Now, the price tag, from what I've seen proposed, is going to be pretty hefty. It's going to be either Jonah Tong, or it's probably going to be Jonah Tong, and then you're looking at like a Jet Williams, and then also like a Brett Beatty for a Skubal. Would you give up those 3 for Skubal right now?
That's hard for me. I mean, I realize, I know you love Tong, but I could see giving up Tong. Brett Beatty.
What if it was Sproat?
Both of those guys, Nick. McLean's the guy I don't want to touch, but
McLean's got to be untouchable. Gotta be.
Sproat. I like Sproat more than Tong, but I think both of those guys. If I was giving them up to get a Skubal, I could do it. The position player as well. I don't know. I think Brett Beatty's good, man. I do think Brett Beatty's the kind of guy who, if we give up, we're going to regret it. Kind of like the Pete Crow Armstrong thing, but Pete Crow Armstrong wasn't as accomplished.
He had a horrible second half of the season.
And he wasn't as accomplished in the second half. I mean, in the major leagues when we gave him up.
No, not even close.
Not even close, right. So I think Brett Beatty's a legitimate major league third baseman.
Yeah.
And I'd like to keep him. You give him a Squirrel.
I don't want Squirrel, man.
Nobody wants.
And Squirrel's making $15 million next year.
What?
Squirrel's making like $15 million next year, too.
Oh, well.
We're not. Yeah, nobody wants Squirrel at $15 million, man.
I don't want to give up Brett Beatty. I realize that you may have to give up somebody. I don't know. Give up some other minor leaguer who probably will amount to nothing. I don't know. And then think about this, Nick. If Skubal realizes, listen, there's only so many teams in this league that can truly pay me. You know what? I want out Detroit and trade me to the. He's going to have to pull almost like an NBA move, like trade me to New York.
Yeah, I don't.
Can he do that? No, he doesn't have that power, right?
Yeah, Detroit don't give a fuck about what he wants. They're going to get the biggest haul that they can from whoever. And
right? But I think
the Dodgers are going to make an offer if he's available.
Come on, man. I mean, seriously, him to the Dodgers with their pitching already—that's insane.
It would, yeah. I mean,
that's
but
insane.
Every offseason though, they go after everybody. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they ever just are like, hey, like, we're good. Doesn't matter if they win the World Series or not. And I mean, let's go ahead and talk about. Well, first of all, let's table that for a second, just real quick. Jeff Albert is the new director of Major League Hitting. This guy Kai Correa is the new bench coach. He's supposed to be extremely just all the way dialed in when it comes to like the metrics and all these. So like that's. It looks like that's where we're going. That's where we're leaning. Obviously, Mendy he goes off a little bit of a feel. So I hope that there is a good
mixture.
Good mixture there, because I don't want to be strictly off the metrics. I mean, I don't, like some people say the Yankees are. But I listen. We don't know anything about these guys, and obviously, it's always going to be about the results, man. Eric Chavez, knowing him as a player, when I found out that he was the hitting coach, I was like, oh, I like that. I like the idea of Eric Chavez, and obviously, I wanted him out for the last 2 years. So you never know.
But they say this guy who they brought in, the hitting guy, he was the hitting guy for the minor leagues, and they said, he did really well for us in the minor leagues and whatnot. And now they're just going to incorporate that to the what's his name? I mean, look, Alvarez couldn't figure it out.
I was going to say he fixed Alvarez.
Minor leagues, right?
He fixed Alvarez.
What's up with that? That's a big deal, man. I mean, we're gonna need good coaches. I don't know who's gonna take over third base now. Who knows?
I don't know.
Somebody has a good rotator cuff.
Yeah, I don't know, but third base is important, man. Third base is important for sure.
It is.
And I mean, I just our coaches need to do something to tighten up the fielding a little bit. And we need better coaching at third base. We got the best first base coach in all of baseball, and steal coordinator. I don't know if that is actually part of his title, but it should be. Our guy Antoine. But Shohei Ohtani.
He's a monster.
It's the greatest baseball game of all time. 3 home runs, all well over 400 feet. 1 hit out of the park, literally. And he goes 6 innings, no runs, 10 Ks. No one's ever done anything like that, especially in a championship series. The Dodgers now move on to the World Series. He's going to have another game where he gets to start and also, be the leadoff hitter. The guy, he's actually been a little bit cold here recently. But then he hits 3 absolute bombs, man. This guy, he's legitimately the greatest baseball player of all time, and that was the greatest baseball game of all time.
Yeah, a little hard to argue with that. I know a lot of people say, oh, wait a minute, recency bias and hot take or whatnot. But in reality, it's true. I mean, the guy is that good. I mean, does he not play the field? But he's a pitcher. And I mean, there's no greater defensive player than the pitcher, right? Especially when he's pitching 6 hitless with 10 strikeouts. I mean, what are you going to do with that? The guy single-handedly won the game.
Right, some little league shit. Right. Little league shit.
You literally don't need anybody else to take an at-bat this game. And just let him pitch.
Right.
And you're golden.
You're good to go.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, man. And I mean, they're hype over in Japan. In Japan, because you got him, and then you got Sasaki coming in and closing out the games. Dude, they're like, "Yo, we're just dominating baseball right now."
Well, Yamamoto.
He's on their team as well. Yes.
They have so.
That's what I'm saying, man.
And then that lineup, Nick, when they started hitting, I mean, come on, man. That's boy Kike Hernandez always with the clutch hits.
Clutch defensive play yesterday where he doubles the guy up. He makes the catch on the run and then throws the ball to first and gets the double play.
Yeah. No, they're a good team, man. They're a good team. They're well coached, and they've got a lot of really good players. I mean, you can't take it away from them. They're that good.
They had a bunch of instances where they got all the way to the World Series and weren't able to, finish. And now last year they got one, and this year they look pretty unbeatable at the moment, honestly. But
they really do.
The series over in the American League has been pretty exciting. All of those games have been pretty good. Vlad Jr. is having a huge postseason, and then just each team, the stars are showing up. It's an interesting series for sure. Like I said, I'm way more interested in this baseball, playoffs than I expect it to be, quite frankly.
Yeah, I've been watching more games. We're watching more games here at home than I have recently, and even without the Mets in it. And it's been some good series, man. Good games. So I'm enjoying it. It's been fun listening to Ronnie and Frenchie.
Commentators leave a little bit to be desired, if you ask me. But
what is the comparison in what Ronnie gets paid for doing the playoffs with TBS versus what he gets paid all season for the Mets? Because I got to feel that they get paid some sort of premium in the playoffs.
You think so?
Like TBS is national, man, over SNY, But I don't think he's getting paid more than he does for the whole season. I'm just saying on scale. Because what's he doing? 10 games in the postseason? 12?
He does a couple regular season games for TBS as well.
I know that. But okay, so I guess what I would say is, what does his contract with TBS pay him versus his contract with SNY? He does, let's face it, 100 games with SNY, right? Let's say.
Yeah,
give or take.
more.
So he must make double with SNY that he makes at TBS, or not?
I have no idea. This is one of your favorite games. You love the how much does this guy make game. I mean,
well, especially with these announcers, I feel like it's interesting. You know, I mean, especially versus the TBS thing. I don't know. I would imagine SNY has to be. They have to pay pretty competitively.
I would like. Are you saying more so on a per game, like, or are you saying like total with him doing so many more games from SNY that
total,
you think that
he
it's
obviously
close?
must get more from SNY.
Yes.
Total,
Yes.
just because of the volume of games.
Yes.
But I'd love to know how close or how far apart those numbers are. In that, I think per game, I would think he probably makes more for TBS.
Of course.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I'd like to know that disparity.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, unless Ronnie wants to let you know.
No, we'll never know.
There's any other way. Next time you see him, if you're ever there in the stadium,
or
and you see
I'll
him,
ask my good friend Mr. Met the next time we talk on the phone. Maybe he knows.
Mr. Met. I wonder if Mr. Met, because his mouth is so far away from his ear, he probably has to do.
He's got one of those
speakerphone.
special brick phones.
That's what he's got.
Okay.
Mr. Met is your boy, but Mrs. Met, not so much. He's got beef with Mrs. Met.
She's out.
Mrs. Met shrugged him off one time when he was in at City Field, and he's had
trash.
beef with her ever since.
She's for the streets.
Yo. But I think Mr. Met might not like you talking about his woman like that.
Well, you can get some too, man.
Hit him upside his big ass head. Yeah, but if he headbutts you got a real problem.
Right now. No headbutt. As soon as I get him leaning with that head, he's going down.
But yeah, no, man. I'll be interested. I'll definitely pay attention to the World Series. Obviously, we know who's coming out of the National League, but it'll be interesting to see who comes out of the American League. It's 3-2 right now, so I'm hoping we get a Game 7. Game 7s in baseball are always lots of fun for sure. But all right, well, I guess we got to talk a little bit about the Jets. Jets are 1.5-point dogs against Carolina tomorrow. Jets play at home. There's been a lot of talk this week about Justin Fields. Our guy Aaron Glenn compared him to Josh Allen and Lamar.
Did you see it?
I saw it.
See, Nick, he just brought them up. I don't think he compared him to them, and he in fact said, listen, I'm not comparing him to them. All I'm saying is that they hold the ball longer than him, but they are more successful than him. So he gets it, and he gets it that he needs to let go of the ball some more. Of course he does. And Justin Fields said the same thing. He didn't say anything about those other players, but he said, I need to be more aggressive. I have to temper that with turnovers, obviously.
I think it was silly of him to invoke those names when talking about Justin Fields.
It's probably not the best thing to do. It doesn't make sense. But I get what he was trying to say, but he probably shouldn't have brought those names up.
Just don't bring them up. Just don't. There's no reason to bring them up. It's just it's going to lead to this. And just he's you could see the testing with the media thing. It's I feel like it's growing a little bit, and I think it's only going to get worse.
See, but I think you're going to be testy with the media if you're losing like that. And he's a little more of an ornery guy. That's just who he is.
That's who.
I have no problem with him being who he is. I think as far as the whole media thing goes, dude, man, if you're 0-6, you're not going to have a good time with the media. I don't give a shit if he came in there and he was the sweetest guy in the world. They might even be more at him if he was just sitting there and all meek and shit and acting nerdy. Look, he is who he is. And I think that you're 0-6, you're going to get a beating from the media and everyone else. You start winning some games, it turns around. Like you said last week, we saw the same thing with Campbell. People thought he was a fool after the initial, what's the name? He was 0-8. He was getting ripped in the media then. They ended up 3-3 their last 6 games. And the media eased up a little bit, and then things got a little better. But, listen, man, none of this matters, bad or ornery with the media, this, that, and the other thing. Win. If you win, none of it matters.
Well, yeah, listen, whether or not he's I just don't think it's the smartest move for him, the way that he deals with the media. I don't really care about it personally. It doesn't bother me. I think
he just has to be himself.
Yeah. I think that we all sometimes have to just, try our best to not be a dick. I think that that's something that we all have to try to do sometimes, and I think that especially when you're dealing with work situations, and I think that my bigger issue with him than that is the fact that first and foremost that he didn't want Aaron Rodgers. I don't know how anyone could say that's not a mistake now. To keep obviously,
I don't think that was a mistake. I don't think that was a mistake. If we had Aaron Rodgers, would we have 2 more wins now? Maybe. I think. Maybe not.
2, maybe 3.
But I think
we'd just be a better
he
team.
Decided to move. Yeah, Nick. But see, I don't. If we had Aaron Rodgers now, we're still not making the playoffs.
I don't know about that.
I don't think we would make the playoffs if we had Aaron Rodgers. I don't think we're as good a team as people thought we were. We weren't that good last year. We're not that good this year. We need to get better, and that's going to take some time. I think
quarterback, that position changes everything. I think
it changes everything. It does.
If you have a better than average quarterback as compared to a arguably the worst starting quarterback in the league right now.
I think
in Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers is playing extremely well, and we have a much better offensive line than we've ever had with Aaron Rodgers. I just who knows? And if the team is sitting there and they're at 500, then they do have a chance to make the playoffs, especially considering the fact that the rest of our schedule is a lot easier than the beginning of it was. I just think Aaron Rodgers is clearly better than Justin Fields. And
no one's disputing that.
And I think we would be a better team. And I think that as the coach, he should want to have the best team possible.
We would be a better team,
unless we're
but
tanking.
Then we have also there's other things that come along with Aaron Rodgers, and it just does. And things that you probably don't. If I'm Aaron Glenn, I don't want on my team. I do notice somehow though that Aaron Rodgers is not doing McAfee this year. I've heard that he is not doing McAfee.
No,
I wonder if what's his name.
I wonder if the Jets game. He did it after week 1 in the Jets.
Right, but he hasn't done it much, and I wonder if that's something Tomlin has told him. Then listen, I think I heard he's not doing McAfee. There's clearly he's not talking as much. He is not talking as much, and I don't know if that's something Tomlin told him he would like him not to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if Aaron Glenn had said that to him, would he have respected that? And I don't know. I just think that Aaron Glenn is doing what he feels he needs to do to make this a better team. I personally thought it was a better thing to just move on from Rodgers. I think Rodgers is the kind of guy you have on the team. If you really think that this guy can get you over the hump to this level or whatnot, I don't think we're there as a team. Just like I've always told you, I don't think you go out and pay some big-time receiver on a team like this. I think it's a waste of time and money. I think if Aaron Rodgers stays, then now you probably got Davante Adams still there, which I got to tell you, Nick, even last year, I was underwhelmed with him. And I think that you might have lost Garrett Wilson.
I think that we have no second receiver, and if our second receiver was Davante Adams, and we also
that means he would be the first receiver, and Garrett Wilson would be second, especially if Aaron Rodgers was here, because Aaron Rodgers clearly favored Davante Adams very much over Garrett Wilson. There are times where you want to talk about looking at film where he was forcing the ball to Davante Adams for Garrett Wilson was open. I mean, it just it's his preference, and I get it. That's fine. I think Garrett Wilson is a good young talent. I think right now, Garrett Wilson is as good as Davante Adams right now.
Yeah,
and I think
he's better than him. Right
okay,
now.
fine.
Yeah.
I think he has to be the main guy on this team, and I think usurping him with Davante Adams was not good for him last year, and he was noticeably annoyed at times that this guy was not getting him the ball when he would be open.
I just want the 2 best receivers I can have. Who's 1, who's 2. To me, that's less important. I just think we'd have a better offense and we'd have a better team. I think we could easily be 3-3, maybe 4-2 if we had Aaron Rodgers. And I think it's telling that a guy like Russell Wilson, one of the great football minds that we know in recent time.
Russell Wilson?
Yeah, a guy like Russell Wilson, one of the great football minds that we know, looked at it and said, "I'd rather have Russell Wilson than this guy Fields."
Wait. You just said Russell Wilson twice. That's why I'm not understanding. Who's the great football mind?
The great football mind in Mike Tomlin
Russell. Okay, you said Russell Wilson.
No, I said he saw Russell Wilson and said, "I'd rather have him."
Oh,
as opposed to Justin Fields.
I'm not making my decision based on that. I think Justin Fields had a bad game last week. I don't think he's had an okay season, not great, but he had a very bad game last week. You know, listen, man, I respect Aaron Glenn, and I respect the fact that if I wanted Justin Fields to be my quarterback and I believed in him, like I'm not saying if Justin Fields comes out and he shits the bed first half this week, then you're probably going to make a change in the second half. That's just going to happen.
Oh, I think there's a good chance we see Tyrod this week.
If Justin Fields plays badly, but I just think that if you're a kind of football coach, especially with your quarterback that you say you believe in and you clearly do believe in, and you just quickly pull the plug like that, I don't think that's good football coaching. I really don't. I think you have to. I think he's committed to this man to a fault, and that may turn out to be a bad thing. But I think if I was a coach and you're my quarterback, there might have been times in that game where I got very frustrated, but I just think that, you have to have some commitment to your quarterback. I think just bailing on him, when Tyrod's decent, but I think if Justin can play better and play smarter like he did in some of the earlier games and play more aggressive like he did, like especially in game 1, he's better and has much more upside than Tyrod can give us. But can he do that? Can he do it consistently? We'll see. But we have to give him the chance to do it.
There's rumors that there's a lot of people within the Jets organization, player-wise, that feel like Tyrod's the better player right now. Okay. And I just don't think Justin Fields is very good. I don't think Justin Fields is very good, and I want my coach to do whatever he can to win all the time. I want him to make the hard decisions and be willing to, pull the plug on somebody if they're just like Tomlin did last year, where he just said, "Hey, this guy's not the guy," and he pulled the plug, even though he was 4-2.
Right, and he pulled the plug and ended up not. Did he make the playoffs? They did make the playoffs, but he ended up having a worse record with that guy.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He clearly they had a worse record, but he clearly felt like Russell Wilson gave them a better chance to win.
Was he right?
I think that he. Yeah, I think he. I think he was right because I just
think
that.
Did the results tell you that he was right? He had a worse record.
But, okay, you're playing different. You're playing different people. It's not like you played the exact same people as you played in the first 6 games. So that's part of it. And I just don't think that Justin Fields is very good. I just don't think he's very good. I think that I really don't think that the Jets are using him and trying their best to get the most out of him. They're not doing any designed runs, and I really hope that changes. And I just, to me, I think we made a mistake in not bringing back Aaron Rodgers, and I think that, Aaron Glenn, I think that was mostly his call, and he dropped the ball. We'll see what happens with this game, but I mean, at this point, I'm never going to root for the Jets to lose, but 0-17 ain't the worst thing, because that gives us either the first pick. You have to go quarterback. I've seen people say, no, trade it and get a haul. No, fuck that. Get a quarterback. You have to keep on swinging at that one until you get it right. And really, like you said last week, it's about having the right system around this guy to get the most out of him. I think we failed Sam Darnold. I think Zach Wilson is just not that good, but I think we failed him in certain ways as well. And we haven't gotten it right in quite some time since your boy Mark Sanchez, which I meant to bring this up last week, but we didn't bring it up. What's up with Sanchez, yo?
Dude, man.
Getting poked by some old man. He's drunk. He's busted trying to fight this old man. This old man ends up having to stab him to get him off of him. Yo, Sanchez, what are you
This is an ugly case, man. This is a very ugly case. I don't think he's going to go to prison, but he's going to have to pay this man a serious amount of money there.
Yeah.
This man got seriously injured, got a slash in his face because Sanchez took the knife from him. I mean, listen, man. I don't know. I think you're probably going to end up hearing things. You're probably going to end up seeing Sanchez go into some sort of drinking rehab, because clearly he was drunk off his ass, Nick. After getting stabbed 3 or 4 times, he went to another bar and was sitting there bleeding when somebody said, dude, man, you're bleeding. Clearly, I don't know if it was a very small knife or... Sanchez is a tough son of a bitch. But.
Yo, and I'm reading now that the new judge is going to allow cameras in the courtroom for December trial.
So the cameras in the court. So what? Unless they're showing video from that night, who cares? Cameras going to just show Sanchez standing there.
I'm sure that Sanchez would rather there not be cameras in the courtroom for this entire thing and how it plays out. But yeah, man, ugly situation.
Very disappointing,
for Sanchez, man. Like he's out here.
Disappointing, man. What are you doing, dude?
He was in Indiana, right? He was there to cover the game.
Yeah.
Yo, I just, you read this, and at first I'm like, Mark Sanchez got stabbed. That's the first thing I saw. And I was like, oh, shit. And then you end up finding out that he's the aggressor. He's beating up this old man who's just trying to do his job.
And this guy ends up having pick up some oil. Some cooking oil. I don't care.
And then Sanchez comes out here, gets to beef with this old man, and ends up getting poked. And now he's in the bar leaking.
Leaking big time, man. They show him walking down the street with a big blood stain on his shirt.
And you can tell just by the way he was walking in that video that he was hammered.
Oh, he's absolutely hammered. He told the guy he can't park there.
What is he?
Dude, man, he's drunk off his ass.
I mean, but just...
Maybe people are buying him drinks or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody wants to get a drink for the Sanchez.
Hey, another round for Sanchez.
Yo, man, I'm telling you,
that's no bueno.
It's like you said, this is gonna be an ugly case. It's gonna be an ugly situation. It is. It's no good. You just can't. I never understand how these guys put themselves in these types of situations. I mean, you want to be out at some bar in Indianapolis, getting hammered out in public like that, yo, get you a nice Airbnb. Get the
Maybe
setup.
Somebody slipped him a roofie.
Well, that shit is real.
You know what I'm saying?
That shit is real. That's a good defense for him. You need to be on his legal team because he needs to try to say some shit like that.
He's absolutely got to go that route.
Something like that.
I was in some seedy bar, and throw yourself on the mercy. If he'll do that and throw himself on the mercy, he'll get a slap on the wrist, have to do some, public, works or whatever, and he'll have to pay this guy, I don't know, $10 million.
I don't know.
Could be more.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but he's definitely going to have to end up paying this guy. And I mean, the thing is that
kind of get kind of quiet after a while.
Yeah, but I don't think that you don't need this guy to press criminal charges.
No.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna pay. No, he's gonna pay off this guy, but the criminal charges is the bigger deal. I mean, that's
but this guy
city of Indianapolis versus Mark Sanchez.
This guy's gonna wait to get paid till after the criminal charges because he will have more of a good chance in civil. So Sanchez will want to settle with him before the criminal case.
Yeah, but this guy,
this guy's going to be like, no.
No, I mean, and this is too high profile. He's some high-powered lawyers already got in this guy's ear and is making sure that he's going to get every single dime that he possibly can.
Absolutely. Like Takapina or Allred, they're already talking to this guy.
Yeah, I call Raffy, some guy like that.
Raffy.
Yeah, that's an Arizona reference right there. Okay. Yeah, man, I'm sad for Sanchez, man. Sanchez is my guy. I love him, and I'm just sad that he's in this type of situation. I read somewhere where his wife said she's not surprised.
What's up with that? If that's the case, then he's clearly got a drinking problem. I'm saying it's going to come out that he's got a real drinking problem.
He's got a real drinking problem.
He's going to go to Betty Ford Center or something like that.
Oh, no. He's definitely going to have the tearful, freaking, hey, how you doing? Now you're all up in the shot. No, he's definitely going to have some tearful thing where he's up there and he's saying he's got such a problem and he feels bad and he's fat, he's seeking help and he's hoping that everybody can forgive him and he's learned from this and Yeah, that's definitely in the near future. But yeah, I mean, and now he had this nice little gig with Fox.
That's
over now, right?
That's way over. Think about the guys we've seen just torpedo their on-screen careers in this last year. Yeah. And all former athletes.
Yeah.
Wait. Besides obviously the main two, who else? I'm thinking about Sanchez and Unk.
Oh yeah. You got Sanchez. You got Shannon Sharp.
Shay.
I mean, with off the field type stuff, I mean, there's been some other guys who have went up in flames recently. I'm thinking about Drew Brees, but that wasn't because he, had some sort of off the field controversy. No. But yeah, I mean, these guys, now if we're going to talk about pundits, I got to ask you about this. Did you see what Stephen A. said about LeBron?
No.
He basically said some shit he don't run up on no white dude like that. He don't run up on any sort of white reporter like that.
I think
honestly, that's a bad angle from Stephen A.
I think it's a very bad angle from Stephen A. And I think there's quite a few things that I don't want to talk about where I think he's got a bad angle. But Stephen A. I think sometimes, and clearly he does this. This is not a earth-shattering, but he sometimes will just say shit about certain people just so that he stays in the news and whatnot. And, he's constantly harping on this LeBron thing. Just let it go, man. This guy don't give a shit about you. He's living his life. He's playing ball. He's good. He's one of the greatest. What is it with you? And now you're going to bring up this bullshit again about he doesn't. Stephen A. He just me, but he's starting to take it a little far for my use.
I just think that it's just not the space for this. I mean, listen, LeBron, especially a guy who has been so outspoken, and when it comes to different issues that Black America has to deal with, and for Stephen A. to say, you ever see him go at a white boy like he did with me? First of all, I hate the term white boy. I hate it. If you want to say white man, white dude, whatever, but listen, any person calls me a boy, I'm gonna have an issue with it. So I'm not gonna do that on the flip side when it comes to other races. But also on top of that, I just think that this is what you said. I don't think that. Sometimes I think that Stephen A. gets the rap of he's just saying this to be hyperbolic and to be in the news. And I sometimes kind of want to push back on that. But to me, this just seems like it is so much that. And dude, you're on the number one, morning show. You got your own website that's doing great. You're coming out with your podcast a couple times or a few times a week that's doing great. So it doesn't seem like he would be the guy that needs to, he's worried about his Q rating and he needs to get to a new level of stardom or visibility. It doesn't seem like that's the case, but I don't see where else you're going with this type of statement.
Stephen A. Nick is very close. He's walking very close up to the line. Unfortunately, he needs to be careful, man, in what he's saying. I think, he's got to be careful in the things he says and how it affects and how people in his community feel about it.
Well,
and he's doing a lot of things there that I think, and like I said, I don't want to go deep into this. I just feel like he's doing a lot of things there that, dude, man, pump the brakes, man. Okay? I'm not saying shut up and dribble. I'm not going off with that. And if he wants to do this or do that, that's fine. But, Stephen A. can say what he wants about LeBron or other people of color, but, sometimes I don't see Stephen A. running up on certain people certain ways. There's certain ways he seems to run up on, Okay, so, just take it easy, man. Take it easy.
Well said. Well said. If you listen to the whole statement, he does talk a lot about, he interjects what he's done for, other, Black men in the space. And just, I watched the full thing, and he's on Ryan Clark's. He does it on the pivot, and Stephen A.'s been working out now, so he's got a tight white T-shirt, and he's got a little bit of the guns going on. He has gotten himself in much better shape. Good for him. Okay. But overall, though, I think you're just way off coming at LeBron like that, because that's if one thing that I've always given LeBron credit for, and I'm not a LeBron stan, but he very much stands up for himself and his people and is willing to be out in front on certain issues, unlike the other, greatest of all time basketball player, Michael Jordan. And I wish that Jordan had been a little bit more vocal, but I do somewhat say that's his prerogative, and he doesn't have to do that. I don't necessarily think it's his responsibility to do so. LeBron feels like it is his responsibility to do so and tackles these issues head on. And so I just think Stephen A. coming at him that way, and it'll be interesting to see how LeBron, replies. And I think at some point he's going to have to respond, just because it's such an inflammatory, statement and claim that as if,
Listen, you know what I would like for LeBron to do? If I was LeBron's dad or uncle or cousin, I'd say, you know what, man? Just go up there, and when somebody asks you about it, you at the locker or whatever, just say, man, I don't care what that fool has to say. I really don't. I'm living my life out here, and I think I'm good to most people. I don't know why that man seems to care about who I am or what I do off the basketball court, but I'm here to play ball and to live my life. I don't care what he's got to say.
Yeah. Or
he can just diss him totally like that, and now Stephen A. is going to be like, because he will be upset, but he's going to sound like a little banshee. At that point, just shut up, man. Just go away, man. Just go there. Go sit down.
He could even go next level and just say, "Who?"
Exactly. Well, kind of though. But I mean, come on. Everybody knows who Stephen A. is.
I know, but
he's the biggest guy in sports media.
I know, but that's almost like a next level of disrespect. Just
right.
Like I don't like what? I'm sorry, what? I didn't catch that.
I think it's worse if you say something like, "I don't care what this fool has to say."
Yeah.
If you refer to him as a fool. You know, Stephen A. like, y'all can say all sorts of things about me, but I ain't no fool. You know what I'm saying? He'll come back like that, Nick. That's the perfect thing to do to that guy because he cannot not respond in the perfect and stupidest way to that.
But I almost don't. If I'm LeBron, I don't even want to give him anything to respond to. I mean, if you give him the who, the only thing that he can do is just like do that whole he knows who I am.
He knows who I am.
Oh, he knows who I am.
Exactly.
And he don't want to come in this arena and talk. He's gonna say some dumb shit. I don't. It's gotten too personal.
Stupid.
I actually agreed.
Ridiculous.
I agreed with Stephen A's take when it came to Bronny, and I did not like the way that LeBron got at him and is like standing over him and coming at him in the way that he did. I didn't love that. I didn't love the way that Bron handled that and you know, just overall that interaction. But I think that also if I'm Bron, I'm not going to do that just because I don't want to give him all this shit to talk about.
Right.
I don't want to.
I wouldn't have done it in a public forum.
Right.
I'd say, can I talk to you? You know, and talk to him in a tunnel or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't do it in that. But also, I think that because he criticized LeBron as a father in such a public forum, that LeBron wanted to then, you know, get his get back, I guess. But
what did he say about LeBron? Saying that as far as bringing him on the team and that whole father thing.
He said, and I think that the whole as a father, you know, like don't do this or whatever. You know, I think that LeBron said, "Hey man, like don't tell me how to be a dad," and you know, like and stop talking about my son. You know, what do you mean,
Stephen A.
Stephen A has kids.
Oh, he does? His daughter. Oh, that's right. He does have a daughter.
His daughter imitates him and shit.
That's right. His
daughter imitates him. His daughter's pretty funny, actually. Right. Yeah.
He does have the one daughter, right?
I don't know if he's got how many kids Stephen A has. I have no idea.
He'll be out here doing some wild shit like your man. What's that dude who I'm thinking about? Who was married to Mariah Carey.
Who's married to Mariah?
Who was married to Mariah Carey?
And what kind of wild shit did he do?
He's got like 14 kids.
Nick Cannon?
Yes.
Nick Cannon's got a bunch of kids. Yeah. He don't stop. He's, you know, at some point, you know, the human evolution, we're all just gonna look like Nick Cannon. He's got mad kids.
Nick Cannon's like Attila the Hun. You know, they say that out of every 200 people, one person out of every 200 people in this world has some Attila the Hun. Or Hun blood.
Not just the
Not him,
Hun,
but
right.
Hun blood.
No, you sure you're not talking about Genghis Khan?
It might be Genghis Khan.
It's Genghis Khan, dude.
They're all descendants of the same of each other.
Yo.
No, Genghis Khan begat Attila the Hun.
I understand that.
Right. So all of the Huns, when they're pillaging and raping, one out of every 200 people in this world has
but Attila wasn't
Hun.
Doing that.
Well, what?
Attila the Hun wasn't doing that.
He was doing something. He was down with it. Him and his boys, come on, man.
I know, but that's the Genghis Khan. It's Genghis Khan.
Yeah, but they all kept doing the same shit for like 400 years. It wasn't all Genghis or Genghis, as they
I think it's just. I think it's just like
you meet 199 people. You're meeting one of them is you know a Hun.
Okay, well, you know, we'll have to fact check that. I'm not sure if that's the exact number, but yeah, man. Like I said, I think that the Stephen A. LeBron thing at this point, it's sad and it's clearly personal and petty, and it's just like, yo,
so
you got two black men who are at the peaks of their respective fields, and it's just silly to see them continue to go back and forth and have.
But see, Nick, I think that's unfair to LeBron. They continue to go back. LeBron ain't said shit since that moment on the court, and they went back and forth about that. Now, LeBron is not getting this going again. Stephen A.
No,
did.
but I thought that the whole on the court thing was. I mean,
okay, that happened. It's over. You're saying I feel it's bad for these two black men to be. No, it's not these two black men going back and forth. That shit was a year ago.
Well, they've had a back and forth throughout the years.
But okay, you're talking about it continuing. Nothing's going on. That thing on the court, that was like a year ago, Nick. Nothing's going on. Stephen A. just says this now because he wants us and a million other people talking about it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, guys, remember me over here? I'm Stephen A. LeBron. You know, that's all this is.
Yeah. Like I said, I used to feel like that maybe wasn't the case, but more and more, it's kind of hard to deny that it looks like he's just, out here trying to stay in the limelight, I guess. But
dude, you're already there. You're the guy.
That's the point I don't get. That's the point I don't get.
He's acting thirsty when he should have more to drink than anybody. You like that one, right? That one, right?
That was a bar. That was a bar. That's pretty good. All right. Let's talk about winning some money. Let's talk about winning some money.
Oh, dude, the lock is over there.
Yeah, you don't even have your props. Right. We got no prop this week. We'll have to bring it back for all you people who love it.
Here at
we're gonna have to switch
HDTM Studios.
This is Studio 2. That's what I call it.
Studio 2. Studio Dos.
All right, well, let's make some money. Let's talk about, 3 teams that are going to win against the spread and what we like to call the big guy locks. Yeah, I'll put the lock sound in for you in post.
Right, but people understand; they know.
You're sitting at 4-3 for the year. No, 5-3. 5-3 so far for the year.
Don't short me.
Yeah, not going to short you. I'm sorry, you're 5-4. But hey, we're still in the good. We're still in the money, and I need
after this 3-0 weekend.
After this 3-0 weekend, I need 3 games against the spread from your big guy. What do you got?
I will say it's getting really hard. These teams,
not a lot of big spreads.
No, and it's just that people are, man, anybody can win any game. So now look, I like New England over Tennessee. I got New England minus 6.5. Even though it's in Tennessee, Tennessee's in disarray. They just tried their head coach. New England's playing well. As much as it pains me to say that, it drives me wild to say that New England's playing pretty well.
It looks like this kid Drake May is the goods.
Looks like Drake May is the goods.
Which is just like Jesus. I mean, come
on, man. This next draft, we got to get the guy, Nick.
We got to get the guy, but we also have to get the people around him to be able to make him good. To be able.
I did see somebody make a point that, while the Jets, these guys Tanner Engstrand and all that. Listen, these guys worked with Jared Goff and obviously did a very good job with him. But now, listen, Jared Goff, his baseline is, significant. He's a legitimate quarterback, but they raised his level.
They clearly raised his level.
Big time.
Sean McVay and the Rams they knew that they needed to move on from him to win a Super Bowl, and so that's why he ends up in Detroit. Is because the Rams got rid of him, and now since he's been there in Detroit, obviously that's one of those trades that legitimately worked out for both sides.
It did work out for both sides, but the fact of the matter is, as much as we think of Sean McVay, and we do think very highly of Sean McVay, these guys in Detroit raised this guy up after he left Sean McVay. So I don't know. There's so many moving parts that go into that.
Sure,
but he definitely leveled up since he's come back.
Okay.
So now I said
Patriots. I got them right now currently at -7 on DraftKings.
All right, so I got to lay to 7.
Okay, Patriots -7.
Now I'm looking at Chicago -5.5 over Minnesota. I like what I saw from Caleb last week. He's getting better. Ben Johnson's work definitely improving him, and I think that Chicago defense is not bad. They're active, and I think they can do it. And
wait, Chicago over Minnesota.
I got Chicago -5.5.
I got the Bears -3.5 against the Saints.
Oh, I picked it wrong. So who's playing Minnesota? No, I'll take the Bears -3.5 over the Saints.
Okay.
I will. Because I don't believe in Spencer Rattler.
I don't think anybody thinks Spencer Rattler is anything.
He's played pretty well so far this year.
He has. I'm saying, he's played pretty well this year, but I don't think anybody thinks he's any type of world beater.
No.
But it almost seems like the Bears at home against the Saints should be favored by a little bit more. I like them -3.5.
I like Chicago in that game. Last but not least, I like the Rams. Unless I picked another bad game, I'm going to pick the Rams over to Jacksonville. Even though Jacksonville has played pretty well. Sunshine's doing well. I listen. I think the Rams are a good team, man. I think the quarterback is very good.
Stafford.
Talking about Stafford is excellent.
So the Rams are -3. You like them -3?
I like them -3, even in Duval.
Yeah. So you got Bears -3.5. You got Patriots -7, and you got the Rams -3.
Book it.
Those are this week's big guy locks. And
Winners, only winners.
And I'd like to see the Jets win, man. I'd like to see the Jets win. Aaron Glenn, he needs it.
Jets need to win big time.
Yeah, and right now we're by far the worst team. I think there's there's how many other one-loss teams are there? You got.
I don't even pay attention to things like that. Until we get a win, I don't even look at nobody's record. I don't care.
No, I hear you. It's just, it's sad times, but hey, man, we got Knicks season right around the corner. The most anticipated Knicks season in my lifetime, and I can't wait until next Wednesday. I think it's a 4:00 game out here, so 7:00 Eastern in the Garden. It's going to be live, man. It's going to be very, very fun.
Sure.
Let's go Knicks. That's our hope right now. That's our hope right now. It's a little bit of Knicks, and we got a Mets offseason to look forward to, and we got 11 more games of the Jets, and we're already in who are the Jets going to draft mode. But Aaron Glenn, man, I'm telling you, listen, I don't think there's any way that they fire him. No. In season or after this season, and I do think that would be stupid. I think we could see some changes at the coordinator, and then can we develop a young quarterback?
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out for sure.
Catch us every week on YouTube or wherever you find your podcasts. Please follow, like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification button on all platforms. Really appreciate all the love. You can find us on socials at Independent Nick. That's Independent N.I.C. Love you, big guy.
Love you, kid.